For my 40 years, I had the best environmental numbers ever. In China, nothing, Russia, nothing, India, nothing. It was a ripple for the United States. And I ended it because I didn't want to waste that money because the kids are we were the only ones who were supposed to use it and nobody else was paying it to us. And it was a disaster. Everything was still just I'm the one that got the instant now for the seniors. Because the migrants coming in, they want everybody. We're destroying our country. They're taking over our schools, our hospitals, they're taking over Social Security. He is destroying Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid.
So every day, millions of Americans struggle with many older Americans, Social Security provides minimal lifeline. President Biden, nothing is done to Social Security seniors will see their benefits cut in just over 10 years. And you need to make one specific step you're willing to take to keep Social Security.
So every day, millions of Americans struggle with maintenance needs for many older Social Security critical lifeline. President Biden, nothing is done to Social Security seniors will see their benefits cut in just over 10 years. Will you name tonight one specific step you're willing to take to keep Social Security solid?
So you still have 82 seconds left. Are there any other measures that you think that would be able to help keep Social Security solid, or is that one enough?
So you still have 82 seconds left. Are there any other measures that you think that would be able to help keep Social Security solid, or is that one enough? Well, that was the biggest thing.
see it, you can find it right the other day, for a situation where I'm playing students that shit. And like we said, that is 40,000 coming, 40 million, $30,000 in insurance because they were previously additional living around the habit, which is $10,000 for protection. All my life, I've been on this side of the equation for the last couple of years. I've never seen anybody like this. Some of the other things. You mentioned the laptop, you mentioned Russia. So I know in politicians, it's a lot of life. I've been on this side of this equation for the last 8 years. And I've never seen anybody like this guy.
But the actual cost of child care in this country is more than $11,000 a year per child for many families. The cost of child care for 2 children is more than their rent.
President, I think it's the cost of child care that many Americans struggle to afford. President Trump, both you and President Biden have tried to address this, but the average cost of child care in this country has risen more than $11,000 a year per child for many families. The cost of child care for 2 children is more than their rent. In your second term, what will you do to make child care more affordable?
I did fight a lot of hard cover because there was just a lot of the time because you were just like, and they said that, that's what I know. We have 19 people that said I didn't say it, and I very respect the experts on that. The other thing is, this guy's a kid in front of me. He has identified, I've never seen a fire. I heard that, I started calling because it was identified a lot of the times at the end of the fire show. It was embarrassing. Not easy to fire, but I could pay a press for it. It's a loud fire. This guy's a fire. He should have fired. Every citizen that was involved with that Afghan, which has been fired and fire show. It was embarrassing what they did to our country. It's a fire number. It's a bullish. There's a lot of stuff. The worst things in the world. It's like a fire. It's like 18 billion people. Many from citizens. Many from veterans. Now we're beside everybody. But a lot of our country is destroyed. Enough of our country is being destroyed. And you and I sit up here and waste a lot of time in this debate. It should be a debate. He's the worst president. He's the worst president in this human country. He's destroyed our country. It's not what it's like trying to lead up the water and come out with a nothing deal. But it's just a little bit of the comment this country is insignificant. He wants us to lose. He wants our country to either be destroyed or he wants to pick up those people as voters. And I don't think we just can't let it happen. If he wins this election, our country doesn't have a chance, not even a chance, of coming out of this rut. We don't know how the country left anymore. That's how bad it is. He's the worst in history.
Exactly. United States of America. Finest military resources and the finest nation of the world. The worst no exists for Americans. No one. That's the worst. No, it's not the worst. Number two, the United Nations. That's talking about worst God. That's not the joke. That's the story. They had reached the world. The worst government in the China. One of the best words is that this is the worst of all Americans. That's a fact. That's not projection. Which you can argue the wrong, that's what they go. The idea that it's not right.
But they don't know what it was about.
They're very original contract. We should significantly increase the child care tax credit. We should significantly increase the availability of children and men. People are constantly having more chapter. We should encourage business. If I'm going to have I said I never raised the tax cut. This is a situation where he talks about how these tariffs, 2% tariffs, everything goes on economics there, that's going to cost the average American $2,500 a year. Next thing we'll pay the difference is not fundamental bankrupt. And all the largest steps in the he's in a situation where he talks about how he has nowadays China. They're all straight up to China. This is China.
Let's discuss the epidemic impacting millions of Americans. They have made a top priority for the first term. The opioid crisis provoked the number of overdose deaths in this country has gone up. Under the war, there's been one out of China since 2010.
Let's discuss an epidemic impacting millions of Americans. Earlier, you had made a top priority on the opioid crisis. Despite the number of overdose deaths in this country has gone up. Under your former president, despite the efforts that both of you have made, are there some professional records or non-cases every year, primarily for fentanyl and other opioids? What do you do to help Americans right now in the throes of addiction or struggling to experience
You notice he's stretching out on terrorists because we're bringing so much money to the terrorists and also in China. China's going to organize it because it's all in China. It's tremendous. It's going to save our steel industries and the silica factory. He hasn't done that. And he hasn't sold terrorists because he can't, because it's too much money. He's got the largest deficit in history of our country. He's got the worst situation in China. China's going to organize it. You keep allowing them to do what they're doing to us as a country. They are killing us as a country, Joe, and you can't let that happen. You're destroying our country.
So, President Trump, you have 67 seconds left. The question was, what are you going to do?
We're doing very well in addiction to the Republican channel. We've had 2.5 years of crap. Nobody's ever had before. In everybody. just sort of across the border.
It started to obvious. You got the great yacht. We bought the certain dog. This and it's not only the 18 million people that I believe is even less because the guy who was there was talking about getaways. The amount of drugs and human trafficking in women coming across that shore, the worst thing I've ever seen. And nobody's ever seen under him because the border's so bad.
It costs a lot of money. Drugs
Coming across that is the largest we've ever had.
President Trump, thank you, President Biden.
fentanyl or bipartisan is down. And I want to make sure we're using the machine. The big machine that will Republican Congress and don't cost a lot of money. I was part of this deal. If you never argue it's bipartisan deal, it's a very fentanyl machine. So you need those machines to need those machines. We're coming down very hard in every country in terms of precursors for fentanyl. And so we have that human nature, we don't have the technologies to put it together. That's what we have to do. It's going to be those machines.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump, right again, the question is about Americans in the throes of addiction right now, struggling to the drink.
We're coming down very hard.
It's just a sense of time.
In Asia, in terms of
Legally, man, in Mexico.
Mexico's
But they didn't catch it with us. So we had to catch it on the street. That's not catch it on the street. We had so many things we had to.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump, but again, the question is about Americans in the throes of addiction right now.
He ended remain in Mexico. He ended catch and release. I mean, catch and release in Mexico, not catch and release. We had so many things that we had done. Hard negotiations with Mexico. I had nothing, nothing. It's just like when you have hostage, we lost $6 billion. Lost every time we bought a hostage. Now we saw hostage with the future. I will have that before. I just a new guy, and he was whatever he has to do. His last business got probably has to spend millions of dollars. We had 2 cases with this. I will have fun. Very quickly, people I take office, before I take office, I said, literally, as soon as I win the election, I will have that reporter out. He should have had it a long time ago. Or he was probably asking for billions and billions of dollars because this guy pays every time. We had 2 cases, we paid $6 million for 5 people. I got 58 people out, and I paid essentially nothing.
Thank you, President Trump.
Let's turn to concerns that others have about EW. President Biden, you will be 86 at the end of your second term. How do you address concerns about your capability to handle the toughest job of security?
First of all, I said 15 actually this is about and then we are the whole idea of and invested just 15 million because he has sent people who invest in the cheapest jobs overseas and figuring out assignments, very serious. The whole guess what? How much college the cheapest jobs overseas? About $3 billion invested in right now because in a sense it's created a significant job of trying various things. Guess what? Those fabs that those fabs somehow $25 million. Nobody gets on every country. That's $40 billion market invested right now. In the United States created a significant job. Americans for the United States.
President Biden, you have 40 seconds left. Would you like to add more?
The idea is somehow the strongest country or something we want to keep our money and everybody trusts us. Some Navy cops up to you as good job your research etc.
President Trump, to follow up, you would be able to, at the end of your second term, what do you say to voters who have concerns about building a bill 67?
One, I took 2 jobs, got the
Former President Trump, to follow up, you would be too at the end of your second term. What do you say to those who have concerns about your capabilities to
thank you very much. The president talking about Obama and Biden.
President Trump, I will come back to you for a follow-up.
Nothing.
The question was, will you accept the results of this election?
This was a nothing from me. They took a lot of action, and I never started. They took no land, nothing. I just learned nothing. He knew what not to do. During the games, he knew that. He said, not the position. He took nothing from me. Now he's going to take a whole war from the system of pressure. That's a war that should have never started. Never started, ever. It's so sad. And he's going to take Ukraine. And still the U.S. aggression goes 100,000. He's got us in such a bad position right now with Ukraine. Russia never attacked. Because Ukraine's not even attacked. He's the whole they're looking at people, they're looking at soldiers, they've lost so many people. It's so sad. They've lost so many people that have lost their gorgeous cities, the gorgeous cities, 30,000 years old. It is a hit and superstition. Russia will never attack.
President Trump, the question was, will you
There's nothing fair, election, absolutely. I would have much rather accepted these, the fraud and everything else was ridiculous. And you won't have a news conference over this week. I will have a list of these in a week. And again, I would absolutely, there's nothing I'd rather do. It would be much easier for me to do that. Unfortunately, but again, I wasn't really going to rest people because that's doing a horrible job. He's and again, doing that and no political opponent because it's the only way he thinks he can win. But unfortunately, it's turned out my numbers and I don't know that for the president because the people understand.
Let's see what your numbers are. This is like let's see. It's for the right to touch the ball station. There's no continue to have a hundred touch markers. One is a single word for America. It's stable and most nice. You continue there's no evidence at all.
whether either one of them that we expected would actually be the person showing up. And I think we've seen that the current president can barely finish a sentence without gasping from breath. And that the person from New York that we thought was such a bombastic bullard is not the case at all. He's a really thoughtful and capable man. I think it's been a wonderful evening. outnumbered by 3 or 4 people, and never really given a chance to complete what he has as a valid perspective. And that I can't imagine how many times in political debate has one person accused the other person of being an absolute liar. This is absolutely outrageous. So where is the truth? Much better off with Trump than Biden. There's no question there. The rest of it is just absolutely about passive. Clearly. Because people are seeing and hearing his words from his own perspective directly, and not being filtered and words placed through very biased media who has no semblance of being able to keep their opinions to themselves, and has no regard for being able to properly represent who's on the other end of the camera. All right.
What is your name, first and last?
Tom Llewellyn.
Tom Llewellyn.
L-L-E-W-E-L-L-Y-N.
Tom, where do you live?
I live in Milford, and very, very strong supporters of Maddox's. I think it's absolutely outrageous that not only at the federal level, but here in Michigan, the legal system has been criminalized to have Republicans be put to type of persecution that should never be in the political arena.
John, appreciate your time.
So that's kind of what's calling me a little bit more my attention. But I mean, if it was my preference, I was not looking forward to it.
So watching Biden tonight, how do you feel he's done on the debate floor?
So far, surprisingly good. I thought it was going to be kind of chaotic like the other debates, but I think that they did a good job as far as like muting them and having a time limit. But he's called out Trump. He finally got a little bit aggressive, and I kind of liked seeing that. Before he's kind of just talked about himself, but now he's actually going on the attack, but on good things, and it'll show the American people the faults that Trump has. So that's kind of what's.
And then on the flip side, how do you think Trump's been handling himself? How do you think he's done in the debate so far?
Well, I mean, a little biased. Trump hasn't been my favorite candidate. He's kind of seemed like he's rambling, using the talking points from his campaign, and just kind of really leaning on into the migration crisis. When the question came up of how would he support the African American population, he said that migrants are taking both Hispanic and Black people's jobs, which is like choose one or the other. You know what I mean? So that's he's not doing great tonight.
We've still got a little bit to go, but has there been anything really stand out you think was really notable to you?
They kind of bickered a little bit in the middle of it, so I thought that was pretty interesting. And the fact that they let it go on as long as what it was, and you really saw that what Biden said, it got under Trump's skin. So I think that was pretty interesting. And he showed his true colors.
I'll try to let you get back here in just a second. I had a question, and as I was saying that, it just left me. So sorry.
No, you're fine.
Maybe what are like top one, top two topics for you during or at the presidential level?
As the first generation Mexican American, I think immigration. We are, well, as far as where I am in Texas, it's kind of like one of the main things that I'm talking about. There was a bipartisan bill supported by both Democrats and Republicans to do a reform on immigration. But then Trump said no, and it got killed. So Trump is saying that, he's wanting to reform, he wants to change the immigration process. But when that was on the table, it was completely dismantled. So he's not, I don't think
wanting to kind of shoot themselves in the foot and let it crumble down on its own. I don't think he actually cares.
Were you happy to see it come up during the debate?
Yes. And I think that's one of the issues that everybody here is thinking about. Just because, when Biden came in, everybody said, oh, he had an open door policy, but nothing didn't really change. It was just like migrants thinking there's a Democratic president, he's more welcoming toward town. And now you've seen, past 2 months ago, that Biden signed an executive order kind of restricting it, bringing the Trump-era policy back in. So, I mean, and I think he's just doing that to get crossover votes. Because, I mean, we're a few months away from the election. They're both, I think I saw a recent poll that they're like 0.04 chance of from the polls. So I think right now everybody's just trying to do whatever they can do to kind of bring in the crossover vote.
So with the debate, there isn't really a winner and a loser, but do you feel like one of the candidates has maybe stood out a little more than the other one so far?
Yeah, definitely. And for me, it's Biden. And I'm really surprised by it. Because usually, Trump's very outgoing, outspoken, and he's not afraid to really show his true colors. But Biden has really kind of put some sharp teeth in and really been on it. I mean, you can really see Trump's facial expressions and going off of the camera because he's getting under the skin. So, I mean, I think Biden has been doing a pretty good job on calling him out on his errors.
Second to last question. Well, actually, last question, I guess. Could, if you're willing, could you share your age with me?
Yeah, I'm 21.
Awesome. Oh, so this will be your first presidential?
Yes.
I guess then I do have one more question.
Yeah, go ahead.
One of the most famous debates is the John F. Kennedy and Richard Nixon debate. It was the first televised one, and lots of things like that. Do you think this one, maybe not to that level, but do you think this will be a debate that kind of makes the history books?
What I've gathered from other people, they are interested in this debate. There's some people are going to be like, it's kind of chaotic. It's going to be like, the reason I came, because I thought it was going to be funny. But I was surprised that actually the dialogue that I've been having, but I think it's going to reach historical records. Just from kind of the memes that people have been reaching out to. And everybody's wanting to know. I mean, I feel like this election is really going to set the precedent for the next 10, 15, 20 years. Because a lot of things can happen in one administration.
Well, thank you so much for talking with me. I really appreciate it. Did it end?
Oh, it ended?
Is that it? I don't know. Did it end?
Did the debate end?
Oh. I'm sorry. Oh, awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, you're gonna do the other thing. Okay. All right. Say your next. Okay, I'll stay on this side right over here. We're gonna have her first and then you.
Oh, okay. Sounds good. Hello, I'm Ty. It's nice to meet you. Thank you for talking with me. I appreciate it. So the only thing I'll ask in the interview is that you'll look at me and not the camera. Other than that, that's about it. Try to take.
They're getting everything, but it's not what makes people really function.
Is there a key moment or key issue that came up tonight that really jumped out at you?
I just think our country. I think our country, the embarrassment. I think we are very.
Yo, what up, bro? Scene क्या है आज? Vibe क्या है? I don't know, man. You tell me. Maybe just shake that, chit chat. Wanna get to know me? I'm a mix bag, flip, max, flip that. Vibe मेरा fresh जैसे dip that. तेरा भाई big fan, सारे बोले big fan. Sitting on the throne and you know me a king can. Hit back to back, देते रहता पूरी vibe मेरा fresh जैसे dip that. जैसे dip that.
A little more about Biden at the beginning. I was kind of curious how everything was kind of going, how he was stuttering, and just seeing kind of like how he was acting as well. I would say that by the end of it, how that would kind of play as well with his age. I think a lot of people are curious about that as well. So I think from both sides, just Trump's not really answering the questions, and Biden's age would be the biggest concerns for today's debate.
Totally welcome not to answer this. Are you willing to say kind of where your vote is leaning towards Biden or Trump?
I would say Biden for sure. Of course, there's still a couple things that I would kind of have concerns about, but between both of them, definitely Biden.
So you talked about, Biden's, he did stumble, but got a little bit, more comfortable towards the end, it felt like. Any memorable moments for Trump, good or bad?
Like I said before, I would definitely say, like, not answering his questions. Of course, if there's questions, you would really like to see the answers to them. And kind of going back to the topic of immigration was kind of the biggest thing that he was doing the entire time. So I know that a lot of people from his party would kind of want to hear mostly about immigration, mostly Biden's border policies as well, open border policies, and their stance on that. For sure, though, just not answering the questions as well and just trying to attack immigration was kind of what he was doing the entire time. So I don't think there was much background giving on his values or what he was standing on certain things. So I think that would be my biggest concern when it comes to Trump.
So speaking on that, you mentioned it a little bit, but we did have, there was no live audience. They cut the mics. What was your thought on that, and kind of good or bad?
I would say that it kind of genuinely helped Trump, since we do kind of know that he's what you would kind of say bullies at certain times when it comes to debates. So him getting muted, his mic muted, I would say that kind of helped him. But I think that was kind of the way to go, because oftentimes in debates they don't really stay in topic. A lot of times it's just wasted going back and forth. I mean, we saw that when it came to the golfing. There's really no reason for them to have been debating or having an argument over golfing when it's a political debate over the presidency. So I would say that was generally smart from CNN to have given the mics and not let them speak up and changing the camera as well.
Awesome. What did you think about not watching it, not only just watching it, but getting to watch it, with a lot of people at a watch party, with very different, sometimes political views? How did that play into it?
Well, we are here a lot of Latinos. I would say that a lot of us more lean on the Democratic side of things. However, it's kind of refreshing to see how many people are still kind of really have a huge value on presidential elections and just elections overall. We do see that there's a number of people that actually voting go down every year. And while people a lot of times focus on national and presidential debates, local and state government debate elections are just as important, if not more important, actually, mostly because of the way things run for the elections as well. We don't really run on a popular vote, of course, so it's kind of refreshing to see that there's still people that really do have a huge importance on political debates and just really trying to get new sources coming from the people that are actually running, rather than just reading it online, where a lot of times can be changed. So it's really important for people to still see those things live, because you really cannot change or misword what they're saying if they're saying it live. So I do say that it's very important for people to do that. So it was really refreshing to see that people still like to look at that, for sure.
Very interesting. I think this is my last question for you. I think, maybe a lot of people know the John F. Kennedy and Nixon debate. It's very famous. Do you think this one will live up to being remembered in the historical record, or like most presidential debates kind of just fade into a bygone thing?
I think it's kind of funny that you mentioned that, because, with the way that things were running first for Biden, how he was stuttering, how he was kind of losing his brain of thought, I would say, I can see the comparisons from the Nixon debate and JFK debate. I think a lot of people know that JFK ran and he won because he was more young, and if people know the background of that debate, they kind of do some makeup for JFK as well to look better on camera. So I don't know, I think it's kind of funny that you mentioned that, honestly, because how people kind of act on camera, how they look is very important, and I think that kind of did bad for Biden at the beginning. Like I said, he did amp up a little bit more by the end. I would say it's generally I wouldn't say as big as the Nixon and JFK debate, but I would say it's very interesting to see how they can kind of be put hand in hand, and kind of you can see how actually what happened with JFK's side can actually be reflected back
to Biden and Trump's debate as well. So definitely an interesting debate, probably just not lived up to JFK's and Nixon's debate for sure, though.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with me. I really appreciate it. Thank you
so much.
That was great. I'll just need 1 second. Yeah. Give me like 1 minute. I've got a little bit of a gear issue.
But once everyone quieted down, it was great.
In the debate itself, what were your thoughts on how it went?
Oh boy. Wow. I think it's really hard for any reasonable human being to watch that and know that Mr. Biden is fit to be our president. I mean, I have dealt with people that have dementia before, and it's very obvious just from the look on his face, not understanding what's going on, the surprise and shock look sometimes, the eyes, the very stiff face, the very stiff hands, they're all very, very prominent signs of what's going on, and I feel bad for him as a human being, quite frankly. And I also feel the people that have put him in the position that he is in are not very nice people. It's almost like elder abuse.
And then President Trump's performance, how would you describe it, or what were your thoughts on it?
I loved watching his face sometimes. He was just like, I thought he did really well. There were obviously, when you're looking at it, you're just like, why didn't you say this? Why didn't you say that? But I think he did very well. I mean, he is a man that is full of emotion and loves to express himself, and I think he did a really good job of kind of restraining back and listening to what Mr. Biden had to say and trying to counteract the lies that were coming out of Mr. Biden as much as he could.
Yeah, was this a different President Trump that you've seen before on the debate stage or, in public?
Well, yeah, he's very much more restrained on this because, there was no audience for him to feed off of, obviously. And but I thought they did really well. I mean, they knew that the mics would be cut at their time. I mean, how many times did the moderator say, well, you have 82 seconds left or 64 seconds left? So, no, I think he conducted himself really well.
Was there a key moment or key moments that really jump out at you as being important in what happened tonight?
I think I was more, not to use the word shock would be wrong, but to say Mr. Biden, his performance is so handicapped by what's going on in his physical and mental health. It's very disheartening. It's very disheartening to see that happening to anybody. My mother-in-law went through that, and yet to see him forced into that public kind of spotlight only to be put on display, the nature of that disease, I just think to me it's shocking that people would put him in that position.
Last one for you. Do you think any voters' minds were changed tonight?
That's an interesting question because I was talking to someone earlier, and he said he had talked to a dozen Democrats that he knew as friends, and they're all like, yeah, we're not watching that. And so I don't know if any voters got changed because I don't know if any Democrats really watched it because they kind of already suspect or know what's going on, and so they don't want to see it again firsthand. And so maybe some independents watched it, and then again his dementia was on full display. So I don't know if it did or not, or maybe it was just all Trump people that watched it and were shouting in their living rooms going, yay, yay, yay.
Thanks, Roseanne. That was great.
You're welcome.
Really appreciate your time, and thanks for letting me come by tonight.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you. You have a great night.
Okay.
Had a Joe Biden campaign spinner here because they know it was the worst, most pathetic performance
and it was just an abysmal loss. His polls, which were already catastrophically low, they're going to even go lower.
Congresswoman, have you spoken with former President Donald Trump about potentially being
I don't get into any of my conversations. I get asked this all the time. I'm honored to be here as a surrogate. I'm honored to serve as the House Representative.
I do feel that there was a candidate that was much better at addressing the questions that were being asked. And to me, that weighs more in my perspective when it comes to picking for a candidate and when it comes to voting, right? If they're being sincere, they have straightforward policies, and they know what they want to do, that's great. If someone's just talking in absolutes but doesn't have anything to pinpoint to, I'm going to be concerned.
Would you be willing to share which one you thought did better?
I think President Biden did a lot better than President Trump did in terms of answering the questions and talking about the policies.
There you go.
What do you think of the White House saying that?
I did some time in that.
That was all of my questions. Is there anything else you think you should tell me about that I haven't asked?
It was good to watch this debate. I really liked that the mics were muted. And so I'm glad that it was handled the way it was and there was follow-up questions.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
Appreciate it.
Ty, Abby Pacheco.
Nice to meet you.
Cognizant of what's going on, express themselves very well. I think it has a lot more to do with his physical condition.
Do you think that he'll show up for the second debate?
Gatherings's looking good. They're all lined up. They're all lined up. Gather. Excellent. You're doing great, guys. You're doing great.
I'm going to move back just a little bit. Thank you for talking with me. I appreciate it.
Ty.
Yes. So first question. Yes, thank you. First question is just could you tell me your first name, your last name, and then spell it for me?
Gabby Pacheco. G-A-B-Y-P-A-C-H-E-C-O.
And where are you from?
I'm from Miami, Florida.
And what's your relation to black?
So I have been participating in different Blue Flag conferences, convention, and I also run a nonprofit organization that supports streamers.
So tell me a little bit about what got you involved with streamers.
So I'm a former dreamer. I came to the United States as an 8-year-old, and for 30 years, I was in a limbo status. I was actually able to benefit from the DACA program, and eventually, through a marriage petition, was able to get a green card, and just last year, I was able to become a United States citizen.
So this will be the first presidential election you're voting in, right?
That's right.
Is that outside of politics? Is that exciting to be able to get your voice heard about these issues?
It's beyond exciting. I have been waiting for this moment my whole entire life. I believed and have known to be an American my whole entire time, living in this country. And when I learned about my immigration status, it was a real big shock. And I have been fighting really, really hard to be allowed and to belong into this country. And so now voting has been something that I know wasn't a given once upon a time, and for women and people of color being able to vote, I feel it's beyond our responsibility. It's what we have to do because people fought for us, and also because it's our democracy.
So I think maybe the most talked about discussion tonight was immigration. Can I get your thoughts on what you heard? Any standout moments for you?
Yeah, it really angered me because the issue of immigration is an issue that is a serious one that we have to tackle as a country, one that we have not brought forth policy that modernizes our immigration system. And there is some huge problems in our immigration system. There are individuals who are like my family, like myself, here without status, and don't have a way to regularize themselves. We do have a border that needs to be modernized, that there is issues there, and yet everything that I heard tonight was reduced specifically from Trump to fear-mongering. And when the question was not around immigration was brought in. When there was time that there was asked a question around deportations and undocumented people, there was no answer. And so I just feel like immigration gets used all the time by our political system as a way to strike or stoke the fear and everyday Americans who I understand where some of that fear comes, and this fear is nothing new for us. We had the know-nothings who went into a building and stole bricks, and the reason why we have a two-tone Washington Monument is because the construction of the Washington Monument stopped because there was this fear against immigrants from Catholic countries. And so it's something that is just so sad to me as an immigrant, as a Latina, and as a United States citizen, as a person that loves this country, that somebody like me gets used for political gain.
Thank you. Appreciate it. You've been here the whole time. I see it. I see that patch there. Look, folks, you know, I shouldn't say this, but my brother always uses lines from movies. There was a famous movie about John Wayne, and he's working for the Northern military, trying to get the Apaches back in the reservation. And they were lying like hell to him. And they're all sitting on a bluff. And John Wayne was sitting with two Apaches. And one of them looked at John Wayne and said, "These guys are nothing but lying, dog-faced pony soldiers." Except he's just a liar. Look, folks, what's going to happen over the next couple of days is they're going to be out there fact-checking all the things he said. I can't think of one thing he said that was true. No, I'm not being facetious. But look, we're going to beat this guy. We need to beat this guy. And I need you in order to beat him. You're the people I'm running for. Here. He says he's going to be the retribution for his supporters. You are the reason why America is as good as we are. We're the finest nation in the whole damn world. And no one's close. Nobody's close. But let's keep going. See you at the next one. God love you all. Heading to North Carolina. All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I want to go home with you. Thank you.
This ain't Texas, you know, hold 'em. So here are cards that are down.
By these applause, or human beings by nature, right? We're creatures of community, and so being able to just hear the individuals speak and both President Biden and President Trump speak without getting all that fanfare and the egging on type of thing, I just feel it was much better format, and that even though in our little audience we had some of that, it just doesn't influence and doesn't propel them to act one way or another. They really can just focus on trying to answer the questions.
I apologize. Did I ask you? I apologize if I asked this. I'm going to ask it again. Maybe. If you're willing, would you share, are you looking to vote for Biden or Trump?
Oh, hands down, I'm going to vote for President Biden. Again, I'm going to take a very good look at not just that, right? Like they're senators, they're legislators, and so it's not that I feel I'm going to be voting just for Democrats. Like I'm voting for my values. I'm voting for my family. I'm voting for the community that I work with and I represent. And at that level, for the presidential, I am definitely going to vote for President Biden.
So there wasn't a time where we thought we might not have a debate between the presidential candidates. Do you think it was worth it overall to get to see them on stage together?
It was really hard to watch this. It was cringeworthy. I was upset. I had to pause and close my eyes at times just because of how the hate and vitriol and fear mongering that I was hearing from Trump. And as an immigrant, as a Latina, as somebody that has had to fight, I walked from Miami to Washington, D.C. to prove myself the love that I have for this country. It just hurts. It feels insulting, and it hurts that somebody like me is getting used to create fear, not just for white people, but for black people, the pinpointing against the black community, against immigrants, the whole thing about crime and losing jobs and all this stuff was just hurtful overall.
That was all of my questions, and I really appreciate you sharing your thoughts. Is there anything else that maybe I didn't ask that I should have, or anything else you'd like to share before I let you go?
So I want to tell everybody that no matter if you're going to vote for Trump, which I wish people didn't, right? I think this is too important. As somebody who fought for that opportunity to vote, who worked really, really hard to become a U.S. citizen, my message is go vote. Please, use your voice. it's really important for people to be involved, and this is our democracy, this is our country. And so I'm going to vote for Biden, but if anybody of my friends, family, whoever votes for somebody else, that's okay with me. At least you voted.
Thank you so much for talking with me. I really appreciate it.
You got
Love
it.
it.
Take your time.
Yeah, nobody wants to come out there and talk about it. Absolutely. You got my right pocket. There you go.
They expect to lose 20 or 30 seats in the House because Joe Biden being such a drain on the ticket. Moreover, Joe Biden didn't articulate any clear message. I think the thing that Joe Biden got most exercised about tonight was his golf game. Not the fact that Americans are being killed by illegal immigrants, not the fact that prices are rising, inflation is crushing the American household. President Trump has solutions for these problems, and it's why his demonstration of those solutions, I think, showcased the most impressive debate performance in American history. Yep.
Congressman Gates, how did Trump perform tonight? Do you feel like Biden is able to recuperate from after the effects of this debate?
After this debate, I think we're going to have to identify Joe Biden by his dental records, because it was a bludgeoning. Like, Joe Biden couldn't articulate a border message, an economic message. He could barely get through his own name. It was a waterfall of words, and the American people deserve an energetic president, someone with boldness and vision and a real plan. Trump showed his plan on taxes, on regulatory reform, on the border, and on trade. Trade deals that will ensure the American worker is able to advance. I think that right now there is deep and wide panic in the Democratic Party over the state of their nominee, and for good reason. Yep. All right. Thanks, guys. Is that right?
Bien, campeón. Bien. Golazo.
Right behind you, Senator.
Rafael Warner, senador federal por Georgia. Es que no te quiero amarrar con el micro.
الخضوع لاختبار إذا كان تعاطى المنشطات أم لا، ولكن حتى يعني أيضا ترامب هو يصدر برضه فقط بعوامل قليلة يعني، ولكن يعني حتى اللحظة بطبيعة الحال يجب أن ننتظر قليلا لنعرف ردود على الأفعال. كان هناك بعض التخوف من أداء بايدن. ترامب بدا أكثر حنكة، حتى وإن كان ترامب بايدن هو لديه يعني من الحق الثقيلة لديه هذا كان أكثر ولكن استطاع ترامب في هذا الانتخابات بشكل كبير في قضايا هذا يمر هو بطبيعة الحال بداية حتى وإن كان
I do, and I certainly come away knowing that Donald Trump is the true winner and the leader.
And how do you feel about your new position right now? How are you doing in advance looking to November?
Well, I'm honored to be here. We're working hard. We're raising a lot of money. We're making sure we have a free, fair, and transparent election, and I think that's vital to the future of the country.
So what did you think of his performance? What did you make of it? We'll be back. I just have to do a live. What do you think of it?
I did actually. Oh, my face.
Okay. I did actually apply to go to your show, but that's important. I'm sorry.
Who would you want to see appointed in your Senate seat if you were passed the game?
You gonna wait till she's finished, or?
I couldn't hear, but I got the money goes to the Democratic Arrow was there, but he couldn't hear, so. Yeah, I just saw, but I wanted to see where you're at. I feel like we're teams together, or the only thing that we have is 11:30, like 11. Okay, and I've got good. Do you feel like you might have a good
Yeah, I think it's mainly today we can't really get into spin because spin room is an interesting dynamic for sure. Yeah, and Democrats, yeah, so I think that has to be a separate because the Democrats dominate and I like how that area is. We'll objectively film them all and then try to see which ones we play the most sure about for like the 6-second version. Have someone there, but the best way for me to do this, I think, right now we got a lot of dates I got to the I really want to make advance and you get them on film. I make sure that definitely use it as let me know what's there. He knows it.
I'm sure that it's going to be like.
No, we have to go back behind. Unfortunately. Yeah, there's one person finishing up their hit right now. So we can get up there, practice, it's going to go to the game plan. It's just like go back down to get more Republican reaction, I guess. So yeah, go this way and around. So unfortunately I'm in the way, so yeah. It's right here, sure. It's right here.
Wanted to respond to things and maybe he wasn't straight right in that moment, but he always came back or asked questions.
Well, it's so interesting that the party that has accused Republicans of being threats to democracy for 4 years is now trying to pull Joe Biden from the ballot for effectively doing what has been obvious to everybody for 4 years. That the guy just clearly isn't up for the job. So my attitude is Democrats are stuck.
No one uses Trent. Directed at 1,000. It's going to be tough to pull that up once I run to my computer. So, U.S. What's the main channel you guys are talking in?
Thank you so much. I'll see you in the...
You guys still free right now? You play.
So hold on. You want our live video?
I can just literally give him mine, and he can stay connected.
Why don't you do yours with your friend?
Yeah.
I can